Someone asked me in comments to discuss the I am sense. The first distinction I want to make about the I am sense is that what I'm going to talk about here is an experience. With awakening, one wakes up to or realizes this pure sense as the fundamental experience of identity, or a more fundamental experience of identity than what seemed to be the one doing the practicing, the one trying to wake up, the one that seeks, the one that imagines finding a better way, a better place, a better experience. So the experience of I am can be tasted rather easily once you know where to look, or how to look, or rather how not to look for something. So in this video, I'm going to point to the I am sense, how to recognize what it is that I'm talking about. So the next distinction I want to make is that what I'm pointing to with the I am sense is so simple, it's so close, that its simplicity and its closeness are exactly what makes it challenging to recognize what it is. We're in the habit of thinking in terms of discovering, finding, learning, understanding, gaining some knowledge later. We're in the habit of endlessly seeking. And the only place we can seek is in thought. The only place we can seek is in the imagination, in mind. Because to seek, you need a concept of future. You need a concept of somewhere else, or another possibility. None of these can be found in presence. So this is why identity gets tied up into thoughts and concepts. And it's also the barrier that we have to breach to wake up to this pure sense of being. The first step in that direction is often to taste or remember or recognize what the I am sense actually is. So again, it's so simple what I'm pointing to. It's so close to you that it's very easy to overlook, because the mechanism of mind that's endlessly seeking something outside of this moment, or something outside of actually you, is a distraction. And that distraction will catch your attention early and say, oh, great, let's use this description to find what we've been looking for. But what I'm pointing to is primary to all of that movement. I'm pointing to something that's primary to the sense of the one trying to make the discovery, trying to make any discovery. I'm pointing to you, or the most fundamental primary sense of you as being, awakeness, consciousness, awareness, but none of those terms. I'm not pointing to the terms, I'm not pointing to the thoughts. I'm not pointing to an idea called I am, or a thought or concept called I am. I'm not pointing to a way to perceive yourself differently, because to perceive yourself, you have to experience a thought. This isn't about perceiving, it's about being. So what is it that's right at the center of you right now? And when I say what is it, I don't mean think about what it is, or give me an answer, or give yourself an answer. I mean inhabit it. And more precisely, see that you've never not inhabited this. It's a stopping. Stop moving forward. Stop grasping for thoughts. Stop grasping for what you think I am is, because what you think it is a thought. What I'm pointing to is that which is perceiving the thought. I'm pointing to the closest, most intimate experience of you before you start thinking. The you that's just there, whether there's a thought or not. It's there before the thought, during the thought, and after the thought. It's the one thing you can't seek because it's doing the seeking. It's the one thing you can't find because you're always looking out from it. It's the one place you can't look because you would be the one trying to stand apart from yourself to look. So I'm pointing to the sense of you. Or from your perspective, the sense of I. And just let the concept of I go. You'll notice the mind will try to think about this. It will say, oh, I think I got it, or I'm not sure I got it, or I'm not sure this makes sense. I'm asking you to just sit back into the one that's aware of those thoughts, but is not defined by the thoughts, is not contingent upon the thoughts. It's complete rest. It's the sense of being you. It's the one that's paying attention to these words. The space itself, or the knowing without a physical description of the knower. It's knowing without a concept to know. It's pure knowing. It's knowing not bound to something, some word, some idea, some narrative, some image. Do you notice that the knowing remains even when there's no thought to look at? Just pay attention to that. Pay attention to paying attention, nothing else. Don't think about this. And if a thought comes, that's fine, but that's not the I am sense. The I am sense is the easiest thing for you to inhabit because it is pure inhabiting, pure sensing, pure being. Now I can further describe it, but I will caution you that these descriptions are not something you think about. They're something that are surmised or noticed. And one is, it's boundless. There's no boundary, inside or outside. It's just this. Just the pure, aware knowing that knowing is possible. It's the pure knowing of being, as you are right now. And that may be very subtle, the recognition of boundlessness, or it may become quite obvious. But don't look for it. Don't test your experience against what I said. Just know that that is one of the typical qualities experienced. It's oceanic. It's every direction, deeply inside and outside. It includes everything. Again, this is a description that may ring true for you once you rest in that sense of I am. But before you rest in that sense, if you're thinking about it, the descriptions will just confuse you. They're just more thoughts. So disregard those descriptions if you're not yet able to rest in the sense of I am. It's paradoxically still and moving. It has a sort of scintillating or flowing experience component, and it has a deep, pervasive stillness. And again, if those tie your mind up because you're trying to conceptualize, then just fall back into the sense of I am, of being you, without qualifying what you are, without trying to think about yourself. Just feel into it. And you might start to notice this, that it's sort of both still and moving, or neither still nor moving. It's not in a conceptual category. Another quality typically observed is that it's neutral. It's not some sort of intense mystical experience. It's not otherworldly. It's just the presence of being. You could call this equanimity, balance. But again, this is just a component of the experience. The experience itself is what matters. And the willingness to keep falling back into the experience and just remain in the experience as it falls back into itself, without trying to determine where you are, whether this is the right or wrong experience with thoughts. You can let go of those thoughts and just rest here. This is the I am sense. Let the words go. You don't think I am. You don't think I. You don't think anything. Just be that pure experience that you could never not be.